Well, it's something to change without notice.
Hi, this is Nicole with Mountain Refined Furnishings and Flooring. And if you didn't know, we've recently partnered with Mattress Warehouse of Utah to bring you the largest selection of mattresses around. The team at Mountain Refined prides themselves on making your home a place where you love to be. We offer a large selection of furnishings, flooring, window treatments, gifts, decor, and so much more. If you haven't been by lately, stop and check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're located at 480 North Main Street.
Welcome back to Crossing the T's with Tyler Moss and Tyler Barrett. It's time for our Athlete Spotlight with senior captain of the Wasatch High School football team, Chris Cook. And Chris had himself a game last night. Chris, thanks for taking a little bit of time this morning and coming out to talk with us.
Yep, thanks for having me.
I know it's early for you here this morning. Probably had a fun night going out there and celebrating the win out there. And we're excited to talk to you about that game because you guys really bounced back and responded well last night. But we'll start kind of simple. We like to get to know the listeners and give a chance for the community to have a athlete spotlight, and your name is one that they've heard for quite a while. Started back there running back for the Wasp for the last 3 years and have really been an impact player. So let's start with just a few simple things here, and we'll kind of bounce back and forth. Then we'll get to some football in a minute. After a win like that last night, what's the way the team celebrates? Where's the go-to after game meal or something like that?
The team mostly goes to Dairy King. That's kind of where everyone meets up. Where I like to go, I go to Beto's and grab myself a carne asada burrito, and then I'll head over. But
if you do go to Dairy King, what's your go-to item at Dairy King?
Just cheeseburger and fries.
Cheeseburger and fries, keeping it simple. Sounds good. How was the? You said it's nice to get that first win under your belt, right? What? Let's keep it light still. What's your go-to pump-up song before a game that helps you get ready for a victory?
Honestly, I don't listen to songs before.
Oh, we've got a good interview finally. I was going to hand the headset back to Tyler. We only got 2 headsets this morning. I got to keep the headset on because that's the way you do it. Is you just don't go music.
Well, Chris, what you don't know is Coach Barrett doesn't know any songs. And so there's a little more to this story here. You can put the most popular song on, and he can't name it there. After watching you for the last couple of years, I feel like you've got such a good feel for the game here, Chris, and you do such a good job back there in the backfield. And it's not just running. Maybe the casual fan looks at the explosive nature, and you certainly showed that off, but it looks like you're great in pass pro. You understand the game very well there, and you just got such a good feel here for the game. But I'm more curious. Running back is obviously where you excel, but if you weren't playing running back, what's your position on the field? I mean, are you walking around the sideline saying, Coach, put me in a QB? You think you're a linebacker? What's your go-to position if you weren't the running back?
Linebacker, even slot receiver. I've thought about doing that before. So.
Yeah, he's gotten some good reps. In fact, we've talked about, we've definitely got that empty package. And as a wide receiver coach, definitely could play slot receiver, has great hands. And we saw that last night, had 5 catches for, I believe, 40 yards, and then rushing the ball as well. But let's dive into the game a little bit, Chris. You know, what, as a captain, as one of the main guys on the team, what do you feel like was the biggest difference from week 1 to week 2, where we struggle against Park City, but then we come out and just dominate Skyview last night?
I think it's intensity. I just think Park City, a lot of the young guys probably had a lot of nerves, not quite sure what they're doing. But I think we just kind of set the tempo yesterday and just kind of ran with it. So,
what's your role as captain with setting that intensity, that tempo? Maybe not necessarily on game day, but during the week. What do you try to do as a captain to try to make sure that these young guys? Because you're right, a lot of young guys on this team. How do you feel like your role or what your role is to get these guys ready?
I try to go as hard as I can in practice and the reps, and just push the other guys. I've never been a big spokesman, but I tried to do that a little bit more. But
Well, it's interesting you say that, because something I brought up with Coach Barrett, because he is down there with you a lot and coaches you, is I told him last night walking, my goal is to get Chris to smile, just look like he's enjoying the game, because you just look so business-like all the time to me. You look very serious, but it isn't, like you just said, it's not necessarily like a rah-rah, get guys going. You just look like you're getting down to business, and this might be a little more before your time, but for our listeners that were around the Utah Jazz in the 90s, it's kind of a John Stockton look, wouldn't you say? I mean, he's kind of got that business feel to him, and so when you're down on the field, what is going through your mind? Like, you just look like you are intense and serious all the time. What kind of things are you focused on? What are you thinking about? And how do you get locked in the way that you were locked in last night?
I mean, I'm definitely not, like, rah-rah does not get me hyped up at all. Like, if coach comes and yells at me, players up hyped, I'm just like, go away. Just like,
well, you've got a big hype offensive coach right now,
Yeah.
Coach Roberts, right?
Yeah,
I mean, last time we
sure.
saw him demonstrate a slide to the
Yeah.
quarterback out there. So that's not your thing, though. You don't like the rah-rah.
No, I can just hype my own self up, so I just like to kind of just go by myself and just talk myself in my mind. But
So are there some things that work for you, like pregame stuff that gets you focused?
I don't really have like a ritual or anything. I just kind of just put it in my mind and
Just go out there and play. Are you a big film watcher? You like to get into film before the game?
after every game I'll watch film, so I'll be up like 2 o'clock in the morning most of the time.
Just
I'll watch
dissecting
the
and
game. Yeah, I'll just
analyzing
watch
it. What's probably the toughest opponent that you feel like you've ever faced? You've got a lot of reps out there on the field, and you've seen some good players. Who's the guy that you look back on and you're like, oh man, that dude could hit, or whatever it might be? Who's the toughest opponent you've seen?
I don't know. I don't know if it's specific, but definitely that my sophomore year, that Salem Hills defense was probably one of the toughest defenses I've had to play against. You just couldn't really go nowhere, and they were just always there. So, but I don't really have a specific guy.
You talked about watching film all night, and it's fun when you've got some Wasatch names that reoccur. And so last year, you're coming off of the Zach Thacker campaign, if you will, at the running back position, and his father, Dave, was also a running back for Wasatch High School, and you're in the same boat. Your father, Paul, was a very good running back for Wasatch back in the day. I think he even played a little bit at BYU after high school. Do you talk to your dad a lot? Does your dad like to get on the film with you and watch the film with you, and do you guys dissect the games, or is it kind of not really a conversation between you and your dad?
It's definitely a conversation. I mean, he's pretty just chill about it, but I mean, he'll kind of just watch it himself without me, and then can just give me some pointers and stuff and what he thought about it. But he's always super supportive and super chill about it. So.
Besides football, if I were to ask you, or let's go this way, you're a senior. You know, the coach Coburn likes to talk about the stake under the bridge, and then the last of everything. You've had your last first game of the year. You have your last first win of the season now. You'll travel on the road this week. What are some plans for Chris Cook after high school? You're again, the days are counting down. And what are kind of some things maybe outside of football that you're looking to do?
I'm trying to play football after, but if that doesn't work out, I'm gonna do M-Tech this year. Trying to do electrical. So
Okay. Good. So with that, if you were to pick another sport besides football, okay, so again, a good football star, you've gotten your accolades, what would you do besides football if you didn't play football?
honestly, my biggest regret of high school is not playing baseball from when I was a little kid. That's the one.
Well, I noticed you got the Cubs hat on. I've asked you about the Cubs hat a little bit too. So, who knows? Maybe this year's the year, right? Head out there, and you still got a chance for that one. I want to circle back around to the game last night for a minute, because there were a few things that really impressed me that stood out that you did. And I'm going to phrase it this way, Chris. Your athletic ability, just most people don't get to experience that in their life. Like you are just so good out there with what you're able to do. And there are two plays that I just was so impressed by. The first play of the game, I thought you really set the tone and you hit the hole with velocity and power and authority, and it looked to me like you were running over people all game long. And so that's play number one, is just kind of that you were going with looked to me a lot more explosion into the line than week one. But then the other play was that 61-yard touchdown run, where I still am trying to figure out how you did it, to be honest. You were so patient coming around the offensive line. It really didn't look like there was much there. It looked like the defense was getting a good push up. You were about 7 yards deep behind the line, and you were just kind of casually waiting with patience. And then all of a sudden you exploded around the edge. You somehow worked your way through some traffic and then turned on the jets. And to me, I felt like those two plays, talking about playing at the next level, really showed the whole package. You showed power, and you showed vision, you showed patience, and I thought everything was just so impressive. So with that background, the question is this, with those two plays in mind, when you're in the backfield, how do you decide how you're going? Sometimes you're running just quickly with power, and then other times you've got patience. What are you looking for back there that helps you make those decisions?
It just depends. I mean, it depends on the run. I don't think much about it anymore. Sometimes if it's just, I see a hole in the middle, I'll usually just shoot into it and with power, and then if it's around the outside, then I'll try to use more speed and try to get to the outside. But
I'd imagine there's certain plays that you're looking for a cutback angle and the way the O-line is blocking. But what happened in particular on that 61-yard touchdown run that you had? Because it looked like it looked like you had to improvise a little bit on a few of those moments.
So around the outside was pretty good, and then they were pursuing pretty good, but a few of the wide receivers did a pretty good job at sealing the edge for me. And then I was just able to stiff arm the one guy and then just beat the rest of them. But
well, turning our attention, we'll kind of get you out of here not too long, but we got a few more questions we want to go over, just maybe a little bit lighter and get to know you. You talked about playing ball in college. What would be your dream school? If you could go to any college that you could pick, where would you like to play?
I like to go to BYU.
Keep the family tradition alive. So you're with Coach Baird down here. Are you season ticket holder down there at BYU?
No, I heard you guys talking about it. I like watching it on TV.
You're a TV man, so you're going to stay home. All right, see, Coach, he does have a thing or two that he knows. I'm the same way, Chris. When you get down there or you're watching at home, you got like a concessions food that you want to have while you're watching the game. Coach Baird said he's a hot dog man. You like the nachos, the cougar tails popular down there?
No.
Nothing, just the football.
Yeah, I don't really care too much about the food.
All right, Chris. Well, thank you for coming on this morning. I know it's early, and you're coming off a big win. Great game last night. Congratulations on the Week 1 victory. We want to thank you for joining the show.
Thanks.